So how did things go for people this last week? And to kind of facilitate discussion, Laura and I mentioned a few things as to what we covered. So we talked about awareness and friendliness, right? Just opening up to things, this broad peripheral open awareness, this quality of friendliness, receptivity, etc. So that was what we discussed. And then also we talked about spiritual bypassing, kind of self-honesty, issues around how dissociation can come up, how the ego can kind of come into the practice and hijack the process for its own kind of to propagate the defense mechanisms, etc., to kind of stay safe. So that's what we were talking about. So hold the line for one moment. Okay, good. So how was practice? Any issues come up over the last week? Any insights, any comments, questions, points of interest, terrible difficulties, etc.?
I did the Me Too practice quite a bit just in daily life when something would be activating or, bring up some sense of difficulty or resistance in me. I would say Me Too, and then I would really like connect how that feeling is like an internal reaction to just sensory experience, like with beliefs and judgments and everything tied into it. Um, and it was helpful. It was nice to have that reminder and to really connect with how it's an internal thing, and that with a little bit of mindfulness, I can disengage that reaction and have a friendlier, kinder one. um, I really like the open awareness, friendliness to what arises
Mm-hmm.
practice. That's been like my main practice for quite a long time. And uh, something that I really like about it, having the friendliness aspect of it,
Uh-huh.
is how for so long in my practice I was being mindful of my sensory experience, but with a sense of aversion or a sense of craving or some other unhelpful
Mm-hmm.
reaction to or view of my experience.
Yeah.
And the like sensitizing myself to what that feels like, and then what being friendly feels like, is like,
Yeah.
oh, being friendly feels better in every case,
Yeah.
so why not be friendly all the time?
Totally. Well, and I also think that, what if you're kind of like, oh God, this crap, I'm mindful of all my crap, that whole perspective versus,
Yeah,
oh, well, okay, this is the thing that's happening. Is it like you're actually punishing yourself for
exactly.
noticing instead of rewarding yourself?
Yeah, yeah. And the friendly noticing is extremely rewarding, and just shifting over and over into the friendliness as difficult material arises and the natural like contraction and pushing away
Yeah.
arises, just noticing that happening, and then um, being friendly with it. Something that I was also playing with is like, somehow like there's always that natural like contraction or pushing away of some aspects of experience. And I tried to move away from trying to change the contraction or let go of the
Yeah.
contraction, into just being friendly to the contraction,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially the ones that are less easy to kind of dissolve or vipassana eyes.
Yeah.
And that was really helpful. It was like, oh, I don't actually have to change anything about my experience. It's even, like doing purification work or
Yeah.
emptiness practice or letting go of things, or you can just be with experience and be friendly with it no matter what, without having those kind of like wanting to do something or wanting to change something or wanting to do
Yeah.
the work. And that was relaxing and restful and nice. So,
Yeah. My first teacher used to always say, she's like, now, Cedric, you don't have to bring out all the artillery. Um, just like, just like, oh, like, okay, this is what's happening, and just like kind of like this sweet, like whatever, okay, here we are, is enough. But yeah,
Awesome. So yeah, it was great. Good week.
cool. Good report. Great. Yeah, how are people doing? Anything else coming up for people?
Um, for me, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Interestingly enough, I think the kind of friendliness is something I struggle with, and something what you said last during our last class really resonated with me, and that was kind of focusing on the heart-based meditation.
Uh-huh.
And like I really have, one of the kind of objectives, or what I always one of my intentions when I start my practice is always to be friendly in the moment of kind of recognizing that I've my awareness, I've kind of strayed or I've been distracted. But I really struggle with that if I don't really involve if I don't spend a lot of time on the heart-based meditation, or kind of working on or having effort on kind of creating kind of I guess the meta, and so what I did this week was really focus on the kind of the meta and the tong line, and that was really good for me. Also the Me Too. I do struggle a little bit with the micro kind of it's hard to bring that into my day. But certainly there was circumstances where I would feel a rising of kind of negative thoughts about maybe somebody else, and then um, you know interestingly enough, one of the first things that I would do is I would kind of go back to that Me Too. Well, I have that in me, right? And that it kind of really helps.
Yeah.
It changes your viewpoint on that person, right? Like it changes how and so I thought that was really good. I sure would like to do that, have that happen a lot more often. I think that's the goal for sure. And I think you become a much more compassionate person by doing that. Yeah, no. So it was the heart base was definitely a very kind of good step for me, and to know that I have to have incorporate a little bit of that in all my meditations to kind of it's just I find the 45 minutes isn't long enough, but that's kind of how it goes. But,
okay, great report, Nick. And yeah, I mean, honestly, my opinion is when in doubt, just go back to the heart practices, because I think that they move you along the path, the transcendental path to some extent, but what they really do is they just like firm up your basic wellness and your mental health, which always stands to improve. And also, to be clear, we're not looking just to firm it up so it's minimally not terrible. we're looking to like build it up to where it's not terrible, and then go beyond that as well, where it's like, oh, like life is actually okay. And then yeah, just to reiterate, the thing about the Me Too is that I don't know. I mean, it's like, to be clear, in a certain interesting way, what you see in others is also not different from you. It is not you. Like, it's actually just a sensory arising, and if your life depended on it, you wouldn't really be able to distinguish what is you and what is the other person. It's all this one thing that's arising, right? And so it's always you. It's always you. And that's not to say, again, that there's a problem with you or even a problem with the other person. But yeah, it's a really cool practice, and it helps you kind of it really helps you use your whole practice. I mean, your whole life to transform and metabolize. Great report.
I've also been doing the Me Too practice quite a bit this week, and also found it quite powerful. It was an automatic response for the first 2 or 3 days after this class, and then it slowly dropped off. So I haven't been doing it as much today or yesterday, but it worked so well that I really want to make it a fixed part of my practice. Yeah, it's a good exercise. And even just something arises and then the glimpse of or the recognition of me too in just 1 second, it's already enough to invoke a much more pleasant feeling. Yeah.
Totally.
So it doesn't have to be a whole meditation.
No, exactly. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy that y'all seem to have had a really good experience with that practice. Any other reports or comments? How did things go for people?
I can say a couple of things.
Hey, Ivan.
Hi. Lately I am trying to introduce more concentration into my sittings, and I find it challenging. So I have this scatteredness on the level of like meditator. So maybe that analogy you brought, you mentioned bringing all the artillery, so that maybe happens for me. Like I'm like everything happens, like open awareness, concentration, metta, tongue land, everything is mixed in that sitting, and in uncontrolled way. It's just mind does what it does. So it's not that it is distracted to thinking much, but it's on the next that level of meditator. It is scattered into different directions. I remember some pointers. I bring up some hints to more concentrate, doing different things, trying to rest, relax, to drop it. Then something else comes up. So maybe, yeah. So that's my challenge as of now, I think.
Yeah. Well, you know what might be a good countermeasure is just to do that. What is rest? And just keep focusing on, like, again, you're not even trying to induce rest. All you're doing is asking the question. I would play around with that technique when you find yourself really busy with all these other techniques.
Okay, I will add it to my.
That's another one to do, right?
I understand. Yes, that's good. Thanks.
Okay, good report, Ivan. Okay, anything else coming up for people? All right, let's assume not.